Hi, I'm Sarah Thompson, and I want to share how I dealt with my toxic in-laws. I'm a 28-year-old marketing executive, and until recently, I thought I had the perfect life. A dream job, a loving husband named Michael, and our adorable newborn son, Ethan. But as I soon discovered, perfection is an illusion, especially when you marry into a family like Michael's. The cracks first appeared at our wedding. I should have seen the red flags, but love makes you blind, right? Sarah, dear, that dress is interesting. I hope you're not planning on keeping that figure after the honeymoon. My mother-in-law, Linda, said with a sickly sweet smile. I laughed it off, but Michael squeezed my hand and whispered, Mom, Sarah looks beautiful. Knock it off. It was just the beginning. Fast forward to Ethan's birth, and the comments escalated. Are you sure you're feeding him enough? He looks a bit small, Linda would remark, peering into this crib. He's perfectly healthy, Linda. The pediatrician said so. I'd reply, gritting my teeth. But it wasn't just her. Michael's sister Jessica was constantly around, offering her unsolicited advice. You know, Sarah, if you're struggling with motherhood, I'd be happy to take Ethan for a few days. I've always wanted a baby. I held Ethan a little tighter and forced a smile. Thanks, Jess, but we're doing just fine. Then there was Robert, my father-in-law, the puppet master of this dysfunctional family circus. He loved to lecture about family legacy and the importance of presenting the united front. Thompson men are made of stern stuff, he'd bellow. That boy needs discipline from day one. Every time Robert spoke, I saw Michael tense up. There was history there, but Michael would brush it off whenever I asked. Things finally came to a head when Robert announced he was organizing a grand family photo shoot to celebrate Ethan's birth. We need to show the world what a strong, successful family we are, he declared one night over dinner. I could feel the tension in the room. Linda fiddled with her pearls, Jessica smirked, and Michael looked like he wanted to disappear. Do we really need to do this, Dad? Michael asked. Of course we do, son. It's tradition. The Thompsons always celebrate new additions in style. As we left that night, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Michael, is everything okay with your dad? With the family business? He sighed and ran a hand through his hair. It's complicated, Sarah. Let's just get through this photo shoot, okay? I nodded, but deep down, I knew this picture-perfect facade was about to crack, and I had no idea just how ugly things would get. All I knew was that I would do anything to protect my little family. Little did I know that photo shoot would be the catalyst that exposed the rot at the core of the Thompson family. But that's a story for another day. If you want to hear what happened next, remember to like and subscribe. The day of the photo shoot arrived, and the tension was palpable. We gathered at Robert and Linda's sprawling mansion, all dressed to the nines like some twisted version of a Norman Rockwell painting. Sarah, darling, you look adequate, Linda commented, eyeing my outfit. Though perhaps a touch of lipstick wouldn't go amiss. I bit my tongue and focused on soothing Ethan, who was fussing from all the commotion. Michael was unusually quiet, his jaw clenched as he helped the photographer set up. As we arranged ourselves for the first shot, I overheard raised voices coming from Robert's study. Curiosity got the better of me, and I crept closer, Ethan still in my arms. Dad, you can't keep doing this. The company will go under if... Don't tell me how to run my business, boy, Robert's voice thundered. I built this empire from nothing, and I won't have you or anyone else tear it down. But the auditors? To hell with the auditors, Robert snapped. This is family, Michael. We protect our own. I hacked away, my mind racing. What was going on with the family business? Before I could process it, Jessica appeared out of nowhere, her eyes gleaming. Eavesdropping, Sarah? How unbecoming. I was just looking for the bathroom, I lied smoothly. She smirked. Of course you were. Come on, they're waiting for us. The photo shoot was a nightmare. Ethan wouldn't stop crying, Linda kept making snide comments about my parenting, and Michael looked like he wished he could vanish. During a break, I took Ethan to a quiet room to feed him. As I was burping him, Robert entered with a bottle of water in hand. Here, let me help, he said, reaching for Ethan's bottle on the nightstand. Something about his tone made me uneasy. I watched in horror as he quickly unscrewed the cap and sprinkled white powder into it. What are you doing? I demanded, clutching Ethan protectively. Robert's face was calm, too calm. Just a little something to keep him quiet for the photos. It's harmless, I assure you. Are you insane? I shouted, my voice carrying into the hallway. You're trying to drug my baby. Michael burst into the room. followed by Linda and Jessica. "What's going on?" Michael asked, his voice tight with concern. "Your father just tried to drug Ethan." I was shaking with rage. "Dad, is this true?" Michael's face had gone pale. Robert scoffed. "Don't be dramatic, Sarah. It's just a mild sedative. We need these pictures to be perfect." "Perfect? You're willing to drug an infant for a photo?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Linda stepped in, her voice dripping with false calm. Now, let's not overreact. Robert only wanted to help." "Help? This is child abuse." I turned to Michael, my voice firm. "We're leaving. Now." As we stormed out, the sounds of the family arguing echoed behind us. In the car, Michael was silent, his knuckles white as he gripped the steering wheel. "Michael, talk to me. What's really going on with your family?" He sighed heavily. "It's worse than I thought, Sarah. Much worse. And I think this is just the tip of the iceberg." I glanced at Ethan, sleeping peacefully in his car seat, unaware of the storm brewing around him. One thing was clear. I had to protect my family, and to do that, I needed to uncover the truth about the Thompsons, no matter how ugly it was. After the photoshoot fiasco, Michael and I decided to distance ourselves from his family, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something deeper was going on. "Michael, we need to talk about your dad's company," I said one night after putting Ethan to bed. He rubbed his temples, looking exhausted. "I know, Sarah. It's bad. Dad's been cooking the books for years." "What? How bad?" "Millions. Maybe tens of millions. I've been trying to fix it, but he won't listen." My stomach dropped. "We need to do something. What if this affects us? What about Ethan's future?" Michael looked torn. "They're still my family." "Family doesn't drug babies or commit fraud, Michael." That's when I decided to dig into Robert's business on my own. Late nights at the office turned into amateur detective work. I reached out to former employees, scored public records, and even hired a private investigator. One day, I hit the jackpot. "Michael, look at this," I said, showing him the documents. "Your dad's former business partner, Jack Reeves, he lost everything when your dad pushed him out." Michael's face paled. "I remember Jack. Dad always said he was incompetent. That's why they split." "Well, according to these documents, your dad framed him for embezzlement." Just then, my phone buzzed. It was Linda. "Sarah, dear, can we talk? I need to tell you something." Against my better judgment, I agreed to meet her at a cafe. "I know Robert's done terrible things," Linda said, her hands trembling as she held her coffee cup. "I've covered for him for years. The emotional abuse, the manipulation, I just couldn't take it anymore." "Why now, Linda? Why are you telling me this?" "Because I'm scared for you and Michael. Robert's getting desperate. He knows you're digging." As I left the cafe, my mind was spinning, but before I could process Linda's words, my phone rang again. This time, it was Jessica. "Sarah, I heard you met with Mom. Listen, we need to talk. Can you come over?" I should have known better, but I went, and it was a big mistake. "You need to back off," Jessica hissed the moment I walked through the door. "You have no idea what you're messing with." "Are you threatening me, Jess?" "I'm warning you for your own good. Drop this crusade of yours, or things will get ugly." I left Jessica's place fuming. When I got home, Michael was pacing in the living room. "Where have you been? I've been calling for hours." "Getting threatened by your sister, that's where." Michael's face fell. "Sarah, maybe we should let this go. It's tearing the family apart." I couldn't believe my ears. "Let it go. Your father tried to drug our son. He's ruined people's lives, and you want to just let it go?" "It's complicated, Sarah. You don't understand." "No, I understand perfectly. You're scared of your father. Well, I'm not. Someone has to stop him, and if you won't, I will." I stormed out of the room, my mind made up. I had all the evidence I needed. It was time to take Robert down, with or without Michael's help. The Thompsons had no idea what was coming their way, and I was done playing nice. It was time for justice, served ice cold. 6 months after the photoshoot disaster, Robert organized another family gathering. The invitation arrived in our mailbox like a ticking time bomb. "We have to go," Michael said, his voice strained. I nodded, a plan already forming. "Oh, we'll be there, all right." The day of the gathering, I felt eerily calm as we pulled up to the Thompson mansion. I squeezed Michael's hand. "Whatever happens in there, remember I love you," I said. He looked at me, confused. "Sarah, what are you planning?" I just smiled and got out of the car, Ethan in my arms. The house was buzzing with family members and business associates. Robert was holding court in the living room, all smiles and fake cheer. When he saw us, his eyes narrowed slightly. Michael, Sarah, so glad you could make it. And there's my grandson. Hat plastered on a smile. Wouldn't miss it for the world, Robert. As the evening progressed, I kept my eye on the door. Right on cue, Jack Reeves walked in, looking nervous but determined. Robert's face strained of color. Jack, what are you doing here? I invited him, I said, stepping forward. I think it's time for some truth, don't you? The room fell silent as Jack began to speak, laying out years of Robert's fraud and manipulation. I added my own evidence, emails and financial records flashing on the TV screen. This is ridiculous, Robert sputtered. You can't believe this nonsense. But the damage was done. Business associates muttered, edging toward the door. Linda stood up, her voice shaking. It's all true. I've known for years. I can't keep quiet anymore. Jessica jumped in, desperate to salvage the situation. Daddy would never do something like this. Sarah's obviously manipulated these records. Her defense backfired spectacularly when I revealed her complicity in some of Robert's schemes. The gathering descended into chaos. Robert was shouting, Linda was crying, and Jessica was frantically dialing her lawyer. In the midst of it all, Michael turned to me, his eyes wide. You did all this. I nodded, holding Ethan close. Someone had to. As we left the crumbling Thompson empire behind, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. A year later, life looked very different. Robert's company was under federal investigation, and he was facing potential jail time. Linda had filed for divorce and was in therapy, finally breaking free from decades of abuse. Jessica, her reputation in tatters, had moved across the country. Michael and I focused on our own little family, our careers flourishing now that we were free from the toxic Thompson influence. We kept minimal contact with Michael's family, prioritizing Ethan's safety and our own peace of mind. As I watched Ethan play in our backyard, I reflected on the past year. It hadn't been easy, but standing up to the Thompsons was the best decision I ever made. Sometimes, the only way to deal with toxic people is to cut them out completely and let karma do its work. In the end, living well really is the best revenge. The story has come to an end, but now I have a question for you. If you discovered your in-laws were involved in illegal activities that could potentially harm your child, would you expose them, even if it meant tearing your spouse's family apart? What would you do in Sarah's shoes? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinions matter, and I'd love to hear how you'd handle such a complex family situation. If you enjoyed this story of justice and standing up against toxic behavior, please hit that like button. It really helps support the channel. And don't forget to subscribe for more compelling stories of triumph over adversity. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.